1, hit it.
What's up, internet?
Oh my god! Immediately. You want to? God damn it! You want to try that again?
Look, I was being really serious, and there's this DC Nation. What issue is this? I was just staring at it, and it's like the Joker's just staring dead at me, and I lost it.
You want to try that again, bro? I'll give you another countdown. You ready?
Wait. Let me go through it in my head. What's up, internet? It's the No Justice podcast.
Yeah, you ready? Want me to give you that countdown?
All right, I'm gonna try this one more time.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. God damn it!
Y'all are making too big of a deal.
I'm trying to help you prepare, motherfucker. Damn. All right, you. How about this? I'll just be quiet. You do it when you want to.
Look, you're putting me on the spot.
I've already stopped recording. Just let me know. You
know how some people can't pee when they're getting looked at, right? I can't do intros when people are expecting me to do them.
So what you're saying is your voice dick is shriveled right now, and you can't
perform? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's gone concave. Like,
oh my god. So your dick's become a vagina. Got you.
Basically.
Well, fuck it. I guess I'll do it. So should Daddy do it now? Should I do it?
I feel like this is being recorded now.
Oh yeah, it's been recording this whole entire time.
God damn it. Hey, this is Dude, I just actually laughed. This has got to be like outtake material.
Oh no, this ain't fucking outtake material. This is just straight in. Fuck that.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. What's up, internet? This is the No Justice podcast, home of the pettiest nerds on the internet. It's your boy DKT the Petty. Oh no, wait, no, that's him. I'm not him. You know, the legendary Pro Adam himself. Sorry, y'all. I threw a party here last night. I'm still a little bit hungover, so.
Oh my god.
Because I feel like I just killed it that time.
Oh yeah, we're still recording, but since you want to talk about you throwing a party and shit, you might as well start off the weeks then.
Oh yeah, so how's everybody's weeks? We'll start with Mr. Froman over there, Adam. Even though I don't think he has a fro. Cough. Okay, back at the Petty. How was your week, bro?
I ain't done shit. Adam told us a story earlier in the chat, but this motherfucker is breaking up on us. Adam, can you hear me now?
Oh yes, indeed.
Okay, it's time. Okay, it's tea time, everybody. Get your tea out.
Yesterday, me and the boys we were just talking. You know, we just wanted to go see a movie, and we were gonna go see fucking Secret Life of Pets 2 because there's like nothing else that we were really interested in watching, and there were no good seats for the time that we wanted to go. So we just all looked at each other like strip club, and so we just over there heading to the strip club, you know, as we normally do. And so we just started chilling, you know, watching the girls on stage. And then, so one of my friends, he's friends with one of the strippers over there. So we get the good girl for that, whatever night that is that she's working. And so I met this one fine, light-skinned chick. And she was just like, "You want some dances?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, we can go." So we go back there, and it was like we was back there, and she was just like doing all kinds of freaky shit. And like she was, at one point, she was trying to knock my glasses off by shaking her ass. And so I was just like, this is the girl for me. And so we just started talking and stuff. And she was just like, "Oh, let me get your number." And I was just like, all right. And so gave her my number or whatever. And then we just started just drinking and stuff. And one of my friends came back from getting danced with this other chick. So he went to go grab her. And then this one dude was just like, no, put that fucking chair back. And it was like there was nobody sitting in it. And so my other friend was like, hey, you don't talk to my friend like that. And so they were getting mad too. I was just like, it's just a chair. The chairs all over. And so we were just sitting there. And then the guy that got mad at us, one of his friends was just like, started in a real stalker mode. Just he was fucking standing behind my chair, just like staring at me like real hard. I was like, I was just sitting on my phone at that point because I didn't have no more money, so I was trying to chill and drink whatever I had left. And then uh, the girls called the manager over there. So y'all right or what? So the manager came up to him and he was like, "Hey, you can't be leaning on the chair." And so I got mad and then he just like sat down in a chair next to me, just like eyeing me down. I'm just like, I didn't really think nothing of it. I'm just sitting here on my phone. And then the guy got mad. He was like, really? Really? Like looking at me like I did something. I'm just like, I've been on my phone this whole time. Innocent. I didn't do nothing. And so the guy, he was trying the manager dude told him that he couldn't lean on my chair and stuff. And so he just like sat in the chair next to me. It was just like eyeing me down like real hard. And I'm just like I'm sitting on my phone, so I didn't even notice anything. And then the manager was like, "Hey, you got to go. You're just like harassing people over here." And then he's just like still staring at me. He's like, "Really, dude? Really? Like I did something about it?" I was just like, I was just sitting there chilling on my phone. I didn't do nothing. And he was just like trying to come at me and stuff. And his friends was like holding him back, like, "Let's go, dude, let's go." Because he was just like he's just one of those angry guys, like a guy that gets angry when he gets drunk for no reason. Dude was weird. And then my friends, they were like ready to throw down. I was like, "Can I just," and that was pretty much my night right there.
So not only did you almost get into a fight, you got a stripper's number.
Oh, yeah.
My man. This motherfucker, this is only his second episode on our podcast, and this motherfucker's already got fucking strippers on his dick. Damn, man. What kind of fucking drip you got? Okay.
You know how I do.
Okay then. But you're gonna have to show us a picture of what the stripper look like, right? Or better yet, have you confirmed that the number is actually hers?
Oh yeah, she told me to add her on Instagram.
Oh yeah, you definitely send that picture in the chat, bro. Uh, Zach, how was your week, bro?
I didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
What happened to that party though?
That was kind of whack, but I got fucked up, so that's all that matters.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
People are gonna think I'm like a party animal. No, I had a good time. Good times. We had good times together, and that made me have a good time.
Okay. Now he just tried to make it sound like a goddamn sitcom, a wholesome ass sitcom. What the fuck? But
Wholesome towards the end.
how the fuck does the end of a party become wholesome? It's typically the start and then everything just becomes degenerate, fucking hedonistic shit.
It was because all the cool people showed up towards the end.
And
It was okay. Long story short, I was like, "Look, the party's supposed to start." I was like, "Look, it really wasn't supposed to start till like 7, 8, something like that. It was just gonna be like some friends coming over." This motherfuckers come rolling up at 4:30, talking about they want a party. So I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, it was just like slowly. Some people started partying. It was like one party, and I was just kind of sitting down drinking. And I was like, "What are y'all doing?" And then it wasn't until way later in the night, like it was until like 8:30 that people that I were supposed to, start showing up at the planned times. It was kind of
okay. Like I said, my week wasn't shit. So y'all ready to get into these topics?
yes, sir.
All right. So we're gonna switch up. We're switching up the format a little bit here and saving the news section for last. We're actually gonna have some real topics to talk about regarding comic books. The first topic we're gonna discuss is Are secret identities necessaries for modern day heroes in comic books? Now, to set this up, we all know about the secret identity trope in superhero comics, and we all pretty much know the reasons that are given as to why secret identities are a necessity for these characters. One, they don't want villains coming into their home or fucking them up in their private life. Two, they're making sure their loved ones aren't being used against them. All that jazz. But with recent movies and trends in comics and just stories in general,
Far from home.
yeah, spoilers. Peter gets his shit outed. So, and if you're complaining about spoilers, I don't know why the fuck you're on our podcast, because we're going to talk about shit. We gave y'all a spoiler review, so that means everything that we talk about from here on out is fair game. But anyway, yeah, a lot of heroes in both movies and comics nowadays it almost feels like writers are pretty much saying the secret hero identity is obsolete. And I'm wondering what's your guys' opinions on that. So we'll start. Zach, you go ahead and give. How do you feel about secret identities?
I feel they're completely 100% necessary to certain heroes.
Okay, elaborate on that.
I mean, some people are just straight up, they don't have friends. They're just like born. Okay, let's take Batman, for example.
Mm.
Batman's true identity seem that important. Who does he have that he worries about? Alfred? Right?
Yeah.
He's a badass. Alfred, you don't need to worry about Alfred. Alfred's next to you in your Batcave most of the time, right? Sure, he needs the money, and I guess that's the important thing about it. But yeah, like Bruce Wayne, you don't often see the interactions of Bruce Wayne. Especially because he doesn't really have anybody he cares about. It's either the Robins, right? And nobody's gonna figure out who the Robins are. I will. That was dumb. But still, it's like, okay, the Robins can take care of themselves. Alfred can take care of themselves. You're fine. Guys like Spider-Man, Superman, who have like whole ass lives and whole ass families, and like you can't just out yourself, and not really for your own sake. It's for everyone else's sake.
Right.
Right. So I guess it all just depends on what do you have going for you.
Okay,
And
that's fair.
yeah, like in the New 52, he explored that, where he was like, look, friends, there's some people, it was early on in his career, they figured out about him, right? And he's like, look, I'm just gonna go become someone else. So, someone else somewhere else, like, because he didn't have any friends or any family or anything like that originally. It's irrelevant, but
Right. But going back to Batman though, would, even if he doesn't have anybody who is at risk for finding out his secret identity, isn't his company, which is his main source of main resource, wouldn't that be put in jeopardy if the general public found out that Bruce Wayne and Batman were one and the same?
I guess it just depends on how you set it up, because I mean, Lucius Fox is the CEO and CFO, I think.
Yeah,
It kind of depends if you have. That's what I was saying. So yeah, I guess that's the important part is for that revenue. I don't know if even if he got outed, if they could work out a way for him to still control all that or not. I don't know how that would work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a hero where it just really.
I mean, okay,
Like a lot of those lanterns are just out there, for example, right? Like lanterns, just
right.
because they don't really have.
Yeah, and plus they're not even on planet enough for it to really matter though. That's the main thing with the lanterns, at least. Like, yeah, you might know their secret identity, but who gives a fuck? Most of them live out in space, even the ones from Earth. Like, with the exception of Jessica Drew. Like, I don't, you probably know more than me at this point, but Hal Jordan, does he even still live on Earth? Like, I know he has a residence, but does he normally?
No, most of the human lanterns don't stay on Earth. I guess now Jon Stewart is staying on Earth, right?
Right.
Since he's part of the Justice League now. I mean, they haven't really had any chance to slow down. A lot of big shit is happening in DC right now, so
Yeah, true.
it's to slow down and even explore that. But I haven't been keeping up with the current Green Lantern that Grant Morrison's doing. It's weird. You know, Grant Morrison has a weird writing style where like he can
Yeah.
write good stuff, but it's like it never appears in continuity. That's right. You know, like it feels like
Mhm.
he's doing an All-Star Superman type thing. It's just,
Yeah, like
but
he's trying to create his own mythos regarding
yeah,
things. Yeah.
everything ever since the New 52. Yeah, Hal Jordan's essentially been living in space the whole time.
Okay. Adam.
Some of my like Superman, it was just like he'll be able to fight like every villain that comes through, and like he has plenty of power to defend his family and stuff. Like it just depends on like how strong the hero is.
That's actually a good point, and I'm glad you brought that up. For me, Secret Identity, in order for a reason for a hero to have a secret identity, for me, would have to be based off of certain factors. Like, okay, let's look at characters like Iron Man and Captain Marvel. Iron Man was a weapon manufacturer. There was a point in time where he did have a secret identity, but after, I don't even remember when that switched, but it just became common knowledge that Iron Man and Tony Stark were the same person. He had the money, he had the resources, and honestly, there was no negative benefit to, I mean, there was no negative consequence for his identity to be outed because he had the means to protect himself and his people. Like, hell, the majority of his fucking friends who would be in danger for people knowing his identity all have their own fucking armors. Even fucking Pepper Potts has her own goddamn armor.
Or they're superheroes.
Yeah, or the superheroes. Then you look at Captain Marvel. She is she's a member of the military. So the military, if for no other reason, they're not gonna risk their own personal military asset in her because she's a fucking powerhouse. And plus, she's strong enough that, okay, who the fuck is gonna actively try to piss off Captain Marvel? Because you know her secret identity, or you know her identity. Like, she was a fucking model at one point in time. And again, all of her fucking friends are superheroes or are people even stronger than her. So yeah, you do that at your own peril at that point. But you got characters like Spider-Man who actually have everything to lose if their identity is put on blast like that. His Aunt May can't defend himself. Mary Jane, she's been attacked more than once. Fucking yeah, just, and it's not like he has money out the bank nowadays, or he used to at one point, but then Marvel decided they wanted to not make him blessed anymore. So yeah, it's like if you have the resources and you have the power, then yeah, I guess there really isn't a reason to keep a secret identity. But at the same time, it almost feels like, I could be wrong. It almost feels like there's a certain level of selfishness that you have to not want to have a secret identity, because blending your hero life with your your personal life almost seems like a bad recipe to begin with. I mean, again, look at Captain Marvel and Tony Stark. They were both fucking alcoholics at one point because of their superhero shit. But I don't know. Y'all got any more thoughts on that though?
No, I don't have any thoughts on it.
Well,
That's
okay.
all for.
All right. Then we can just go ahead and move on to the second topic. And this is one that I know Zach's probably gonna have an opinion about.
Boy, this is my shit right here.
The second topic we're gonna cover today is humanizing characters, good or bad. Now, what do we mean
Humanizing in air quotes?
Yeah, air quotes. What I mean by humanizing, pretty much making a character more relatable to the audience, essentially. The prime example I'm going to use, and the one I know Zach is going to bring up anyway, Thor. At least in the movies, Thor was quoted to being humanized for being fat because of his depression after the whole entire Infinity War events in the movies. there are some people who disagree with that notion. Zach, but I'll just leave the floor open to Zach on this one. How do you feel about the humanizing of characters?
Okay, look, here's the problem. This whole he's humanizing the character movement is it's just so like emo and depressing. And here's my thing. You have to be sad or depressed or negative or some sort of emotion like that to be humanizing, right? Just being like happy. Like, okay, so Thor shows happiness, sadness, he shows some depression. Like he's shown the whole spectrum, right? But he's not humanized till he gets fat. That's what made him relatable. What? And he never wants to go outside. And I'll give you another example. I think I can't remember if it was on this podcast or another one. But one of my biggest problems that has been with Century is I want to like Century and a lot of stuff that comes with Century because I'm into the whole Superman aspect. Me is that people will honestly tell you to your face Superman is a better or not Superman, Century is a better character than like Superman or really even fucking Blue Marvel, Gladiator, or even Mark Milton shit. What's his name? Hyperion. Like, oh, because he's so crazy. He struggles with all these inner emotions all the time. Like this dude is schizophrenic, agoraphobic. Like he has everything in the book, and people swear up and down that is what makes him so relatable and so cool. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to be like this. This is just fucked up ass person just to be a human. A little bit angry sometimes. You can be goofy. Those are all human emotions. What oof, man, it really grinds my gear. It's the same thing with Batman, right? Because Batman's so much more relatable than Superman. Why? Oh, well, just because he's got human emotions. Feels guilt. I'm like, well, Superman feels guilt. And like, well, he rarely shows it. I'm like, yeah, he's a pretty happy guy. He's a good person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it works for everything. And I'll be like, he's the second smartest man on earth, and he's got like perfect memory and all this other stuff. He didn't just earn those; he was born with a lot of his talents. Sorry, it's just this humanizing character movement. It's just
no, I hear
really
you.
ruffles my jimmies, people. I'm sorry.
That was the whitest shit I heard today. Holy shit! But we'll
I just remember the meme.
We'll come back to that. Adam, what's your thoughts on this?
Characters aren't relatable because they don't have like the same kind of stuff that you got. Just like it's just all stupid. Because I find Spider-Man more relatable because he was like broke for a long time or whatever, and he's trying to get the girl of his dreams and all that stuff, and then he just believes that he's he's a hero, but anybody can wear the mask, so it's not like he was specifically chosen to do this and stuff like that. You know, I can feel that, but just like I can't just be like, oh, this other character.
I mean, I hear that. So, let me ask you guys this then. Do you think the word humanizing is the wrong word that people are using for what's being happening? Because based off of what y'all are saying, it sounds more like it's writers are showing visible weakness in these characters versus actually humanizing. Because if we're talking about humanizing characters, let's look at the examples of the people who we often bring up. These are characters with superpowers. These are characters who by all means stand above regular humans. The average Joe on the street can't fucking bench press a planet or fucking throw a car clear across a block. So the characters who are often quote unquote humanized or relatable are the ones who suffer from something. You got Sentry with his schizophrenia, Batman with his with the death of his parents, Thor in the movies becoming fat and depressed. So, and like Zach said, you don't have to show negative emotion in order to be humanized. So, is there a solution to this? Because, well, hell, I'll even use Superman as the example. Superman for whatever reason, people still don't find Superman relatable, despite the fact that, like Batman, he lost his parents. Like, uh, Peter Parker, he was not exactly the most financially stable at one point. Like his parents owned the farm, but they weren't rich. But despite having a family, despite having friends, despite having a 9-to-5 job, for whatever reason, people still don't think that's humanizing for him. And it all comes back to his powers. So what solution is there possibly for... Yeah, the question I want to ask y'all is, how do you actually humanize a character and make them relatable to their readers or the audience in general?
You don't. You just need to show like thought, like empathy. Empathy. Showing empathy for people. That is humanizing.
Okay.
He doesn't have to be sad. It could be him just sitting back and reflecting on something. His words to portray someone's thoughts. I mean, he could just sit back and reflect on something. Talk about what you learned from something. I mean, that's one of the things people don't realize is Superman will always do something, and then they'll be like, "Oh, well, you didn't always used to do this," and then he'll explain the specific event which made him think this way. Oh, well, that's so not like him. I thought he was so godlike, and I'm like, no, he's constantly being portrayed as like one of the most human members in the DC universe, despite the fact that he has awesome power. But I don't know. People just want to roll with this narrative.
Yeah, I hear you. But okay. What was I about to say? If you take away negative emotions for the humanizing process, and you actually just show a character being empathetic or bringing about the emotion of empathy from the audience, then
I'm not saying you have to do that. What I'm saying is a lot of people think you have to do that to a 10.
Oh, pretty much the extreme
All
version of it.
in. Yeah, like you have to go. That's what I'm saying about Thor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would like would alcoholism not be enough? Would depression not be enough? No, they were like, he has to be a sad, fat, depressed alcoholic. You can't even say Thanos' name in his presence or he'll just break down. Like, oh my God, guys, you did not have to go 110% on this. You have to do every time you're going to go in for this humanizing thing, right? Like with Sentry, giving him any number of them. You know what they said? We're going to give them all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, stop. It's not creative.
I hear
it's
you.
not. Anyone can do this.
I hear you. But the one thing I will say in defense of going the extreme route with that kind of thing is, on a page in a comic book, and even sometimes in an animated thing, actually in any medium, honestly, sometimes subtlety isn't conveyed well. Like, for whatever reason, in some people's minds, something doesn't click with the more subtle portrayals of something. So being more overt is easily digestible to people. Hence why when we're talking about certain characters, they only describe them by their Cliff Notes version of their character. Superman, he's super strong. He's one of the most powerful characters in the universe, i.e., he's boring. Spider-Man, for whatever reason, people just always imagine him as a kid. He's always broke. He makes jokes. Deadpool makes jokes, can't die, in love with Lady Death, all that kind of shit. So maybe
Batman.
Yeah,
Parents and justice.
Yeah, parents, justice, brooding. So maybe it's not necessarily the problem with the writing or the characters themselves. It's the audience who's the problem, because they can't interpret or pick up on subtle messaging. Is that a possibility?
Yes, and we call these people dirty casuals.
I'm not going to disagree.
I'm sorry, it's just... But no, like, this is what I've been saying, and because I try so hard to stray away from that, because I didn't want to seem like one of those people, like, you know how there's got like, and a second, but you know how like there's those DC extended universe fans be like, it's just too complex and it goes over Marvel fans' heads, they hate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
in that boat of thought. But I do feel like that way with a lot of characters when it comes to their comic book portrayals and people who like movies is almost like I think it might just be too complex for a lot of y'all and it just goes over y'all's heads. Like in general, when it comes to any comic character. Like, yeah, with Superman, it's either he's got to be boring or an unfeeling god now. He's got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
No,
Because
and same thing with Thor. They're like, no, it is now turned that Thor has to be comedy relief.
yeah, but that's more of a general problem with Marvel, the MCU's writing than anything else. Like, and unfortunately, it's not necessarily even the writer's fault. It's the audience because, with the exceptions of Black Panther and Infinity War, how many movies have we had that are actually having more?
Laugh at this joke.
Yeah, how many movies do we have that are actually have more serious undertones and overtones even? Like they're few and far between, honestly. Hopefully with this new phase, we can get less of that and more, I guess. Okay, I know you know the general argument when it comes to Marvel and DC and comparing how their comics are written. Most people, for whatever reason, view Marvel comics as the lighter, campier version versus DC that's all dark and serious and more parallel to the real world and all that shit.
Yeah.
The problem with those trains of thoughts is if you actually read the comics, you know that's not true. They're about the same. Like both sides have
Yeah.
both sides have dealt with serious ass topics and both of them have goofy ass fucking stories. It's just
And they both started doing more goofy stories recently. Like that, a lot of stories have gone back to.
yeah,
I
we're
don't want to
going
say like it kind of Silver
almost
Age. Like
yeah,
a lot of
Silver
stories
Age.
are going. Goofy. They've got a new Jimmy Olsen, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new Jimmy Olsen thing, and the writer was like, "It's just a series of one shots that get progressively more ridiculous." Main character. You got the new Silver Surfer Black run that is kind of like it's Silver Surfer. He's fighting Null right now, and I think it's going to be like either 3 or 5 issues. It's supposed to be short, right? But all it is it's just going to be like one of those Silver Age ridiculous fights with all these ridiculous statements, and the art is kind of Jack Kirby Silver Age inspired, right? So like
Right.
we're kind of getting away with that stuff. I
Yeah,
feel
and
like that was awesome.
honestly it's needed. I mean, shit. I enjoy my serious stories, but yeah, every so often you need to break up that level of storytelling with something lighter and more humorous. Like
Yeah, and like it's something that it's gonna be a really easy story. It's gonna be easy to digest. Just read it, right? Like you need some of those every now and then.
yeah, not everything needs to be some conspiracy levels deep.
Yeah.
But unless either of you have anything more to add, we can go ahead and move on. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the news. All right. So the first story we're going to talk about in the news section is one that I legitimately had to talk about because this shit was hilarious as fuck to me. In Nebraska, a woman claims that a Spider-Man statue in a zoo is demonic. Bro, I could not make this up if I tried. So the article comes from Bleeding News or bleedingcool.com. And pretty much this woman in Lincoln, Nebraska had demanded from her mayor that a Spider-Man statue be moved away from the Lincoln Zoo. She called it anti-Christian, demonic, and completely inappropriate for a showcase nearing a family attraction. This woman called it a goddamn hate crime against the church. Yo. But now you might be asking, how the hell does this woman consider the Spider-Man statue, a Spider-Man statue, to be any of this shit? Well, apparently the statue itself is Spider-Man doing his classic fucking devil horn for the fucking web swinging shit. We all know the fucking look. But the funny thing about this is, as crazy as it sounds, she's not entirely wrong. Because here's the thing. Okay, so I've talked about it before, but there is a Spider-Man storyline called One More Day. Essentially, Aunt May was dying. Spider-Man was going through it at that point. The Marvel's version of the Devil, Mephisto, comes to him and he says, "Let go. I can save your I can save your Aunt May, but I'm gonna need you to pay me in before I do that in exchange." And what he wanted was pretty much the concept of Mary Jane Watson and Peter's marriage. Because it was anointed by God. It's like their marriage was that special. And long story short, Peter took the deal. So Peter made a deal with the devil. And that's not the first time that Spider-Man has dealt with the devil before. If you fast forward to 2018, 19, present day, in the Champions story, the current Champions run, Miles Morales, the junior Spider-Man, he made it.
Spider
Don't you
Boy.
are not about to disrespect fucking Miles Morales like that. He is Spider-Man.
We talked about this on here, right? About how
Yeah.
that would have been racist.
Yeah, that hell yeah, that would have been racist, and yeah, we did talk about it before. But yeah, Miles made a deal with the fucking devil as well, and yeah, the reason he did that is something that y'all should check out by actually reading the Champions, because it's the best goddamn team book ever in Marvel Comics. Possibly, yeah, actually even DC, I'll even say it. But yeah, so this woman, she's not wrong for saying that Spider-Man is possibly demonic. Y'all got anything to add to this? Because I thought this story was fucking hilarious.
You know, it's probably just like an uncultured ass woman who's walking around and she saw these two big red hands making, you know, the horns. And she was like, no.
Covering her child's eye and shit. Like,
and then when someone was like, then when she asked someone, they're like, oh, grandma, that's Spider-Man. She'd be like, Spider who? What now? And, you know.
I mean, yeah, if you told me a giant spider was being. But I do got a question. Oh, actually, no. Never mind. I remember what the article said. The reason there was a Spider-Man statue at a zoo at all, because that really is out of place, is this statue was supposed to be up for auction at some type of charity event, and it was just stationed at the zoo for whatever reason. But yeah. Without further ado, I guess we can go ahead and move on to the second article. So, there has been a casting for Catwoman in the new Harley Quinn cartoon show, I believe it was, wasn't it? And
yeah, it's gonna be on a streaming service.
yeah, it's gonna be on DC Universe. And the voice actor who they've chosen for is Sanaa Lathan. If you don't know who that is, you may have seen her in movies such as The Best Man, or my personal favorite, Love and Basketball. This woman is beautiful. She is a goddess, but yeah, pretty much she's just gonna be the voice of Selena Kyle. And I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, I don't know if she's ever done any voice acting beforehand, so we'll just have to see from there.
She could kill it. People, at least as far as I'm aware, like there's actors who jumped into it, and I think they did better. I can't remember his name. Plays Cyborg, but for example, Rosario Dawson, right? She plays the new Wonder Woman in the animated shit, and I really like
which cartoon?
Like the new animated movies. Like
she's the voice.
Ever since the death of Superman, yeah, it's been her.
That would explain why I was getting random ass boners every time I heard Wonder Woman's voice. I thought it was just Wonder Woman, but okay.
Yeah, just guys that have been actors. Like even the guy who was voicing Superman himself, Jerry O'Connell. I've liked him in a lot of stuff, but I really like him as Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, Shamar Moore. Yeah, Shamar Moore. Everybody knows who Shamar Moore is. I hope at least.
I know he is, but
anyways, yeah, dude, he voices Cyborg now, and I was like, not that I don't like his other roles, but hey, him as Cyborg really fits. Could be really
Young Justice Cyborg or just Cyborg in general?
like the animated movies. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
and Justice Cyborg.
I'm still saying Teen Titans Cyborg
Still
voice
important.
actor. He's the goat.
Oh yeah, that guy is the goat. But still,
Oh, speaking of though, I don't know if we talked about this on the episode where we were discussing fucking Young Justice, but tell me why every fucking black character other than Cyborg himself sounds like Teen Titans Cyborg.
yeah, it will. Cause isn't it like Phil Lamar? Or
I
am I
don't know.
tripping?
I don't know
What's his
who the
name?
name of the
Phil
actor
Lamar?
is.
Yeah, it's like basically it's probably like 3 black dudes voice every single black character in that show.
I don't know how I feel about that as a black man. I'm not gonna
So
lie.
Troy Baker, white guy, he voices like, and there's a lot of works where you'll find Troy Baker does a lot of extras and everything. Like I
Oh
think Troy
yeah,
Baker does a lot of extras.
like yeah. There's like a
Well.
trinity of voice actors, like Jennifer Hale, Troy Baker, and fuck, who's the other one? Johnny Young Bosch, motherfucker who played Adam as the Black Power Ranger back in the day. Yeah, those motherfuckers are the goats of voice acting. But I don't know. I I just felt some type of way when I first heard Cyborg in every fucking black character minus actual Cyborg. So I was like, But anyway,
Yeah.
the next
Lightning.
fucking the next story article we got here. We got a few fucking news articles we're gonna go over today, so we're gonna blitz through a few of them. The director of the upcoming Joker movie wants everybody to know that this is not going to be a comic book movie. Pretty much. So you got what's his name? Joaquin Phoenix. I still don't like that goddamn name. Like the Phoenix Mark.
Joaquin.
I'm gonna call him Joaquin. I don't give a fuck.
No, you uncultured swine.
Listen here.
I'm just kidding, y'all. I don't cape Joaquin Phoenix like that. I've seen. I mean, I do like him as an actor. I don't cape him like that. I felt like being really extra.
Yeah, clearly, but
white people think.
But Joaquin Phoenix is gonna be the Joker for that movie, and from the trailers, I think we can all agree that the fucking movie is gonna be loosely based off of, or at least took an inspiration from the One Bad Day storyline.
Yeah, whichever one it was. But yeah, like we've seen this before in a way. I forget which one it's in.
The Killing Joke. That's what it was.
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's not comic books. But like, no, I obviously don't expect it to follow a comic book plot, but this is definitely inspired, at least.
Yeah, like because prior to The Killing Joke, there was no origin for the Joker. He was just there one day. So it's like you're kind of taking something from the comic books. So don't front on that.
And I'm okay if he's not the regular kind of like that Mark Hamill Joker. Well, that's my favorite Joker, right? But I'm okay if he's not that type of Joker because I understand that would be too hard to portray on screen.
Right. But
and I'm mature unlike some people. I understand that. So yeah, I'm just gonna take that.
I'm willing to give it a chance, even though I'm not really interested in the Joker anyway, truth be told. But the direct,
like I said, Mark Hamill Joker is really the only Joker for me. But I will entertain other.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that stance too. But Todd Phillips is the one in charge of directing this upcoming movie. And he's quoted as to saying, "We didn't follow anything from the comic books. Bullshit. Which people are gonna be mad about. Our version of the character. Shit. Sorry, fucking articles being difficult with me. Our version of the character. Fuck it. Pretty much, he's just reiterating the fact that, hey, if you expected this to be comic book, this ain't it for you. And honestly, I'm not surprised because here's why. Everybody likes to fucking cape the Dark Knight trilogy. I get it; those are good movies, but I don't. Based off of my knowledge of superheroes and what I've read for years in comic books, the Dark Knight trilogy are not superhero movies. That's not a bad thing. It's just I don't know what it is about Hollywood and Batman or but people like to read into Batman more than there really should be. You know what I mean? Like, people think it's this great opportunity to the look into the mind of Bruce Wayne and his rogues gallery. Like, some of these motherfuckers are just basic as fuck. Like, there's not that much diving into that you need to do. But that's just me.
I want to tell people about that whole Dark Knight trilogy. I just want y'all to know, as hyped up as it gets, they were pretty weak when they were throwing hands in that. And how y'all gonna cape a Batman adaptation that's got shitty fight scenes? I'm being honest.
I mean, you
I
can
see Batman throw hands.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, shit. Joker has the excuse. He's not a fighter.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the Bane ones were kind of cool, but like the first movie, dude, yeah, no. I just rewatched the first movie and I was like,
yeah, like you literally had Batman going against Ra's al Ghul in the first movie, and not a damn thing happened except for the train fucking blowing up and then Ra's dying. Like, really, you missed us. You missed out on the opportunity of having a badass ninja fight, essentially.
y'all should have just. I mean, and he's in a bat suit. You should have just put a fucking stuntman in there, or something. Or maybe that'd be more. Maybe that'd be more CG technology, and that's where I'm tripping. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Like the Ben Affleck thing. That's the one thing why so many people go around and they say they think Ben Affleck might be the best Batman. It is not because of his betrayal, because that's trash. It's because of his fighting scenes.
You're not wrong. Not wrong.
Yeah, and I don't want to say Batman should only be fighting scenes. I'm just saying he's good at it.
Yeah, for a Batman movie, that's kind of what we expect to see. Up next in our news article, we've gotten more details on the Spider-Man, Marvel, and Sony deal. Now, it's been real confusing regarding, okay, what does the Sony deal with Marvel actually entail? And at first I just thought it was okay. They get X amount of movies, and then Sony has some pretty much majority control on how the character is portrayed or whatever. Turns out the original deal was to co-produce these movies. Stipulated that if Spider-Man Far From Home didn't clear $1 billion, Sony would essentially get the rights to Spider-Man back completely. Which, okay, that makes no goddamn sense to me, because they've had 2 chances to fucking make a compelling Spider-Man movie. Why the fuck do they think? You know what?
Look, I just want to point out it's easier to use alchemy from Full Metal Alchemist to make a full grown ass human than it is to understand this fucking deal.
Yeah, like,
you'd be better off doing that shit.
Yeah, like, okay, tell me if this makes sense to y'all. So Sony had the audacity, and really it was the audacity, to be like, look, if the second solo Spider-Man movie doesn't make $1 billion, we get the rights back completely. Y'all motherfuckers couldn't even make half of that with your own movie, your own versions of Spider-Man. I could be wrong.
That must have been a poker deal gone wrong.
Yeah, that
some bigwig over at Disney, like they probably like put a wager on it or something.
Like, so
they just probably fucked up.
Yeah, so the deal is for them to have 3 solo Spider-Man movies, and then it'll be back into negotiation time. And Tom Holland's contract is with the MCU is for 3 solos and like let me see if the article said it. 3 solos and 3 appearances in other MCU movies. He's already popped up in, so he's already had 2 solos, and he's popped in 2 appearances in other movies. So he's got 1 of each essentially before a renegotiation happens. All I'm saying is Marvel needs to go ahead and get Big Daddy Disney to be like, yo, Sony, run that shit, because this ain't it, chief. I don't know. because I know Sony is trying to make their own. They're trying to make their own Spider-Man universe, but without Spider-Man. Like they're literally trying to push Venom to be the front runner, the flagship of their franchise. And that Venom movie was not great.
Boo. Like Venom was. It was.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll say this. I'll say
It was
this about
okay.
Venom. I'll say this about Venom. What's his name? Who played Eddie Brock and the symbiote Venom? Whoever the voice actor was for that, that was fine. Those two were good. Everything else around them, not great.
Yeah, the plot wasn't really there.
And I still don't like what they did with.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Venom is only as cool as he is when interacting with Spider-Man or in the Spider-Man universe. I know there are Venom fans out there, but y'all can suck my dick. The only solo Venom that I care about is Agent Venom. So,
Yes, sir.
So y'all could kiss my ass on that one. But since we're talking about Marvel anyway, let's go on and talk about the Marvel's Avenger game. So, an article from PC Gamer has revealed that there's leaked footage of actual gameplay for this game. Something that we didn't get at E3. And I haven't checked out the footage yet, but the footage is regarding Thor gameplay.
It's oh, you said you didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean you can if you've seen
It's
it.
like it's nothing special. I mean, this is kind of. I don't want to say it's fake news because it does exist, but I mean, shit, it's like a 10-second clip of just Thor running around smacking dudes with his hammer.
I mean, yeah, that's kind
that was
of
impressive. To be honest, people are gonna complain. Yeah, I was low key triggered because it's like, dude, Thor's taking 3 hits to knock out these regular army dudes.
I mean, that's video games though.
Like, I know, but
like you gotta
with Spider-Man, you can make an excuse, but like if I'm hitting you with my magic hammer Mjolnir, you should get one hit KO'd.
What the fuck you mean Spider-Man give an excuse? This motherfucker was stronger than
damn near every. He holds back.
Yeah, but he can still knock you out in one fucking punch.
But he's holding back with his punches. You know, like Thor's smacking you with a fucking magically enchanted
Okay, no,
hammer.
we're gonna talk about this right now. You ain't about to disrespect Spider-Man on my watch. Okay.
Are we finna get in this right? Everyone, okay, first off, everyone here knows Thor would wash Spider-Man. All right.
Okay, that's not even what I'm gonna be talking about right now.
Should lead with that so everyone knows. This is what I'm getting at. Is
fact,
just because Thor is way stronger and he's swinging a very dense hammer versus a human with spider proportionate strength swinging at you. It's different.
That proportionate strength of a spider also took out a Herald of Galactus. So,
oh no, he did not use Fire Lord.
You goddamn right, I used Fire Lord.
Did not.
Oh, should I also mention that Spider-Man soloed the X-Men team? Yeah, don't ever disrespect Spider-Man. Hey, it's not my fault that fucking Thor is fat now, but anyway.
Okay, well, you know what? It's not my fault that Spider-Man's still 16.
Why'd you have to go?
Got a hot aunt. And he's got a Peter Tingle.
You motherfucker!
I went all
in. We are not making that a thing. Stop doing that shit. Peter Tingle does not exist. We are not talking about that shit no more. I will shut this podcast down.
You know what? In my mind, Fat Thor doesn't exist either.
Fine. I don't bring up Fat Thor. You don't bring up Peter Tingle, and you do not disrespect Aunt May. I don't give a fuck what universe it is.
Remember Marissa Tomei is.
Okay, you can talk about the actress, but do not disrespect Aunt May. That woman is fucking Mother Teresa.
I said one thing, and I just like went in on my whole life. Should have a salad. I don't know, Patricia. Should you have 5 kids with 5 different men? Like, I feel like that's how I just went in on you.
It honestly feel like that. Honestly, I'm not gonna.
I think I just spazzed.
Like yo, I know I get a little too emotional with this shit, but you gotta understand, I am a diehard Spider-Man fan.
I knew I shouldn't have brought up the Peter Tingle, but I did it.
God damn it! I gotta recompose myself now. Shit.
Remember where we were? What were we talking about? We were talking about the Avengers gameplay.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
talking
y'all.
about...
It was like 10 seconds. It was pretty base footage. Adam, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean it was just regular base footage. I'd wait till real gameplay demo actually releases on YouTube. This was like some guy with a camera phone at Comic-Con.
Yeah, because the actual footage came from a private showing of gameplay, so
Yeah.
it really wasn't supposed to be shown. Which I'm still weirded out about because one, E3 didn't show actual gameplay like E3 should, and then they're still continuing to not allow the regular people to see what gameplay actually looks like.
I mean, apparently there's going to be customization option, like apparently a lot as far as outfits and stuff goes. I'm more worried about movesets. I mean, and that was another problem. Like I said, all they showed is Thor, so it was just like it's not very indicative of maybe other guys will have really cool combat options. Right. As far as Thor goes, he's just swinging around Mjolnir, and it's hammer and lightning, baby. So that's all we saw.
Yeah, and I'm still worried that this is just going to be a more graphically better looking Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which I don't want. But speaking of this game though, it's pretty much been all but confirmed that Kamala Khan is gonna be a pivotal character in this game. Because what's it called? I want to say that the one of the lead designers on the game actually said, yeah, Kamala Khan's gonna be in the game as a optional hero to play as.
Do we know if this shares a universe with the Spider-Man game?
No, nothing's been confirmed on that one.
Well, the reason I say that is because apparently somewhere in the Spider-Man game, when you take a picture of the Avengers Tower, it like reveals that they're like somewhere on the West Coast.
Yeah, Spider-Man did throw a line saying they were in San Francisco or some shit. But yeah, so until we actually see more, I still am apprehensive of this game. But what else can we talk about? So I'm gonna skip the order a little bit because they pretty much fall in line with each other. The Phase 4 for the MCU has been officially revealed, and Zach, you want to take over for this one?
Boy, I gotta tell you, I couldn't care for half of these. I'm finna sound like a hater, but let me go off the list for you. Black Widow, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Loki, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, What If, ... question mark, Hawkeye, Love and Thunder. Okay, so let me just go down the list. First off, Black Widow, she's dead. And they said this is supposed to take place in the past. I'm spotting on ScarJo. I really just don't think I want to see this movie. I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to end up going watching the movie anyways. See the movie. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is Disney Plus. Don't care for Anthony Mackie or what's his name?
I just called them by the character names. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care for either of them, to be honest. I don't even care for their characters that much. The Eternals, I'm interested in. Me and David talked about this earlier. I was like, hey, what if somehow this gives us an excuse to get Thanos for a third time? Because I really love Thanos.
For the record, that's the only reason he's interested in this.
Or if they would just build on it. Or maybe.
No, Thanos is not going to get a solo movie.
No. Well, wait. Okay, now we should talk about that.
No, we shouldn't.
Only word to email to somebody.
I'm not helping you with that petition.
But damn, what was I saying? Eternals, yeah. I've kind of been looking for like a a Superman type thing. Maybe I'll get like a Kryptonian proxy or something. Something that'll make me happy. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Actually down with that one because I feel like that one's actually going to be interesting and different. I feel like that could be like a whole adventure ass thing. I feel like that's cool. Wanda and Vision, I don't care about. Loki, I don't care about anymore. He's been ruined. People who still try to claim Loki's one of the best characters, he's been ruined.
Okay,
And he
yeah,
died.
explain that one to me.
Cool as a villain, but he's just become progressively more of a laughingstock as he goes.
Are you mad because of what happened in Ragnarok?
Happened what?
Are you mad because of what happened in Ragnarok?
No.
Mm.
I'm mad that everything that has happened to him has happened to him.
Okay. Okay.
Ragnarok included. And
Of
now
course.
he's dead, okay? But somehow, okay, this is what's really going to determine it for me. If Loki is alive in this main MCU continuity, big fucking problem. Like a big problem. Because that is such a huge contradiction. Sorry, guys, my nose is still a little stuffy. Contradiction to the rest of the end game.
Okay.
That's gonna be a problem.
But okay, so a bit of a tangent here. What if the MCU Asgardians, Thor, and all that shit? What if they are similar to the comics in the way that even after they die after a certain period, they are pretty much reincarnated? Like Ragnarok technically did happen, not the movie, but the event. Ragnarok did technically happen, and Asgard was destroyed. All but Thor and a handful of Asgardians are alive now on Earth. So, what if main timeline Loki comes back after being resurrected?
I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm just saying if their way of bringing Loki back is because he didn't die in the past now because he got the Tesseract or something, I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
Okay.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. As I've been on the Doctor Strange wave recently. I think they've been making them cooler. I hope that's where they introduce the multiverse. That makes a lot more sense than Spider-Man to me. At least this live-action Spider-Man. Now, if they would have made a Miles Spider-Verse movie, I mean, I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad we got the Spider-Verse movie we got. That's a great way to introduce the multiverse. I'm just saying the way they were playing it with Mysterio and everything.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, that would have been trash.
Series. Like half of these are on Disney Plus. I'll go back through and tell you which ones are on the streaming services, right?
Yeah, that's something we need to clear up. That's something we need to clear up.
And Thor, Love and Thunder. We can touch on Thor in a minute. I'll go back. So look, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that's Disney Plus. WandaVision, that's Disney Plus. Loki, that is Disney Plus. The What If series is Disney Plus, and Hawkeye is Disney Plus.
Now, something that needs to be added on, just so people know that we're up to date on this shit. Blade has been confirmed to be popping into the MCU. But that won't show up until, what did they say, 2022?
Yeah, I want to say something like that.
So technically, Blade will not be part of Phase 4. Fantastic Four was also confirmed to be in the works for MCU, but again, that's not going to be in Phase 4. A lot of that future stuff that people are hearing about, that's going to be happening in Phase 5.
Yeah, this is only. Did you say this? This is only a 2-year phase. It's going to be pretty short because, well, they're tied in.
Yeah. So here's what needs to be made clear for anybody listening to this right now. Phase 4 is not just the phases are not just the movies. Yeah, that's mainly how they were advertised, but Disney and Marvel have a plan going forward with this apparently. So Phase 4 is going to coincide with both the movies and the streaming service that's going to be launching fairly soon. And what Marvel is doing is what we thought they were going to do with the Netflix series back in the day. Why did I say back in the day? It was only like a few years ago. But anyway, pretty much.
Hey, but that's what we're going to be telling everybody when people kids are going to grow up and they're going to be like, wow, do you remember when the Loki show came out?
Yeah.
Was a dark time, but I remember way back in the day. In the days of Daredevil.
Oh
you're going to be saying shit like that.
Yeah,
Flicks of yonder.
but yeah. So what Marvel and Disney are planning to do is a lot of the stories that are going to be in the streaming service, the TV shows, they're going to eventually be incorporated into the movies. Example being a character that was seen in Captain Marvel that you motherfuckers should have watched and stopped being fucking haters for. I'm going to continue to say that. There was a child by the name of Monica Rambeau. You may know her from the comic books as one time Captain Marvel, one time Photon, but currently Spectrum.
He was the best Captain Marvel.
Yeah, y'all can suck my dick on that one. She's better at Spectrum. uh, she's gonna be an adult in this TV series Wanda and Vision. She's gonna eventually be rolled into the MCU at some point. Whether or not she's gonna be a superhero is kind of up in the air, but more than likely she's gonna be. So yeah, that's actually something for me to look forward to because, like Zach, I'm really not looking for these TV shows. But if they can actually tie them together, or at least bring characters from the TV shows into the movies, cool. I'm cool with that. But yeah, Adam, you got any thoughts on this shit?
It's like I'm not really interested in too many of them. Just like the Eternals, Shang-Chi, and then Doctor Strange. Everything else I just I could care less about.
Yeah, fair. Yo, I'm honestly thinking Shang-Chi is gonna be the most fire of the fucking ones of the
Yeah,
movies.
I think it might slap if they don't go for the typical. What I'm starting to say is that Marvel, jokey thing. Like if they go for a real ass movie, like I think it could slap.
I mean, I know that's not what we want, but Shang-Chi is actually kind of a jokester in the comics. Like, boys got
What?
swag. Shang-Chi's a bit of a jokester. He's got swag to him. So he might be...
Look, if he has competent action scenes, then I'll forgive it.
Okay.
That's another thing I've been I gotta criticize Marvel over. Is a lot of their action scenes be weak.
I mean, yeah, but the majority of the characters who have the action scenes, with the exception of Spider-Man, are just beam, pew-pews motherfuckers. Like,
I mean, even like guys like Captain America, dude. Like, I think a lot of his fight scenes are weak.
I would have to rewatch them in order because I thought the Winter
reason
Soldier
I like
one slapped.
yeah, those were there, but I'm saying a lot of the other ones I think are kind of weak. The reason I like Thanos so much, the second that dude got on screen, bro, he pieced up Hulk. So ooh,
Yeah, and that was not even fancy. That was just like a classic 2-piece.
yeah, like he just, made me shiver just thinking about it.
Bro, don't be busting a nut on the damn podcast.
Well, I said shivered.
Uh-huh. I know what you
Bones.
actually meant. But so since we're on the topic anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the upcoming Thor movie. Zach, go ahead, let it out, bro.
I know how Dave feels about this. I need to. That's what I need to do. I've got like a whole ass free week, and I've been catching up on a lot of stuff I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
But I really need to read that whole Mighty Thor run. I have no problem with Jane Foster as Thor. I do like her in a lot of the stuff I read her in as Thor. We introducing Natalie Portman as the first live action female Thor. I feel like I had to clarify. I saw some memes of it was like some little girl was like dressed up as Thor as a joke, and just before people start talking about that shit, yeah, she's gonna be the first female live action Thor. I don't know how they're gonna write it, but like I'm not the biggest Natalie Portman fan. I think her Jane Foster, what she was doing was all right, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest Natalie Portman fan.
Okay.
And it's directed by Taika Waititi too, so I feel like it's just gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy number 4.
Yeah.
Number 3.
It was confirmed that the director of Thor Ragnarok is going to be the one in charge of the new Thor movie coming out in next 2 years' time. So actually, I think that movie is going to be one that ends Phase 4 anyway. So, Adam, did you ever read the Mighty Thor run as Jay Foster?
Nah, I haven't.
Okay.
But I got to.
Okay, so I'm pretty much the only one who read that entire run. Yeah, I don't have an opinion one way or the other about Natalie Portman. I mean, I'm pretty much gonna judge her based off of how I see her as the new Thor. Um, but I fucking love Jane Foster Thor. I really do. Like that's Jason Aaron made that run for me. Like, granted, his entire run of Thor is probably the best version of Thor I've seen. But Jane Foster, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but something about that story in particular just hit me. Maybe because my mom had cancer and Jane Foster at the time had cancer. Maybe that's why I felt something about it. But anyway, um, yeah, I don't know, because here's the other thing about this. Okay, if you're confirming Jane Foster, I mean Natalie Portman is gonna be Jane Thor. What's actually happening to regular Thor? Is it gonna be the Odin son storyline essentially, or what's gonna happen with him? That's the part that I'm actually worried about, because I don't know what the MCU plans on doing with Thor anymore, especially after fucking Endgame.
They plan on disrespecting him, obviously.
I mean, he could potentially be the leader of the Asgardians of the galaxy. I mean,
Here's one of the things that bothers me, right?
mm,
They've already done and explored this unworthy Thor thing like twice in the MCU alone. Again?
I mean, you're right, but it's not like he can. It's not like he can take on the mantle of King of Asgard anymore. I mean, he gave that title up to Valkyrie. So
That's what I'm saying. Are they going to do yet another unworthy Thor arc? I mean,
it's
you
kind
can't
of
just keep doing those. That's like with the X-Men, and it's like, people constantly hating them and seeing them in like this really negative light. It's like, geez, how many times are you going to do that?
the one thing I will say on that is, as tiresome as that is, that's kind of what racism is, bro. like,
I know, but it's just like it
like
doesn't get interesting as a story after a little while. It's like, damn, bro, people
I'm
suck, and it's like, damn,
I'm
people
right there
still
with
suck.
you.
Y'all are heroes.
Yeah, I am right there with you though, because even though I know X-Men are supposed to be the parallel of racism and bigotry in the world, a part of me is just like, okay, this is also still fantasy. I kind of want to at least see one fucking disenfranchised group get to come up, if even mine isn't gonna do it. Like shit. If let me live vicariously through them. Let me know that some fucking race is doing better than mine
Look,
right now.
at least then we've got an argument for X-Men. We don't have an argument for Thor. This would be like, if they go that route, this would be like the third attempt in the MCU alone at an unworthy Thor.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all we can really. I think that's I think we pretty much hit that on the head multiple times at this point. So, y'all ready to move on?
Sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And moving away from movies and actually talking about comic books, uh Marvel has announced a new Spider-Verse title. Uh they haven't given it an official name yet, but it's going to be a 6-part story, and Miles is pretty much going to be in the same scenario. Wait, hold up. Let me double check the article.
No, I think it's just a comic book adaptation of the movie.
I mean, the cover kind of says otherwise though, because if you actually pull up the article, it's on Newsarama. For anybody back home listening, if you see in the left hand corner, that's a Spinneret. That's the Renew Your Vows universe, daughter of Peter and May. So I don't think it's going to be just a
Oh
comic book.
yeah.
So it's just going to be another Spider Verse like event. I don't know if it's going to be in the same vein as Spider Geddon, but actually, you know what? I got a theory about it, because now I'm thinking about it. If you read Spider Verse and Spider Geddon, spoiler alert, in Spider Geddon, the web of life and destiny, which is pretty much the connecting threads of the multiverse that the spiders all derive their powers from, essentially, was destroyed by the inheritors. And Spinneret, she is known as the Pattern Weaver, which is a totemic power that we don't know the ins and outs of yet. My theory is this 6-part story is going to be the revival of the Web of Life and Destiny, because if for people who don't know, the Web of Life is the multiverse. Period. It's pretty much the connecting. It's what gives the spiders their power, but it's also created by. This is gonna sound anime as fuck. It's created by the bonds that each of these spiders form with people. So if you got a spider, you shut the fuck up.
I'm just fucking. It was the way you took shame and said you like this is anime like, so I was like Buddhist man.
No, I just know that
friendship power.
Kind of, honestly, kind of. But that applies more to Spinneret than anything, though. But so yeah, there's not too many details on it, but a fun little detail that the article talks about is for the event that's going to be coming up, there will be variant covers from various artists in Marvel, including the people who did the art for Into the Spider-Verse movie. So that's going to be actually. So I'm probably gonna buy physical copies of that shit.
There's no probably about it for me. I'm definitely gonna buy the physical copy.
Fair enough. But you know those variant covers are gonna be costly as a bitch, especially if you got bigger names on them.
Oh yeah, they're like at least like $17 a copy, but I'm willing to take the risk.
My man, he's been willing to take a risk ever since he got that stripper's number. Oh, yo, Zach, look on the goddamn chat. Adam got the damn W for that one because he.
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, he got the fucking W for getting that stripper. Like he won the competition. But I literally got distracted by that girl's picture. Moving on. Bro, that girl is fine. I don't give a fuck. But
I'm telling you, man.
If she got friends, let me know. I'll drive down to Texas real quick.
I'll find out.
But moving on to the DC side of things, DC has announced their own What If anthology series. Pretty much, it's fuck. What the hell is it called? Let me pull up the article real quick.
What If, I think.
No, it's Tales from the Dark Multiverse. Pretty much.
Oh.
Pretty much what this is going to entail is they're going to instead of doing the another DC Elseworlds miniseries, they're going to actually taking a page from Marvel's What If series back in the day, and they're going to pick specific storylines and apply the what if scenario to it. Like, but of course it's all going to be the dark turns of everything. So,
and if anyone needs an explanation, I got y'all.
Oh yeah, by all means, take it away.
Okay, so for anyone that doesn't know how DC works, is okay. So dreams are basically everything. There's even this whole thing called the dreaming, and everything basically everything comes from dreams, right? Like what the World Forger does is he takes like worlds, universes, or multiverses, galaxies, whatever. He takes the ones that he finds from the dreaming or the bleed, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and he's like, "Oh, cool, dope. I'm gonna take that." Boom. He turns it into an actual universe or multiverse or whatever, right? The dark multiverse is what when his pet overthrew him momentarily. Like a lot of Batman's worst nightmares, right? It's also just a lot of bad nightmares, period. So what it's going to do is it's probably going to take a lot of these negative or nightmare-like scenarios. If you just look at the cover art, one of them shows like the bloody S from the death of Superman. It's probably going to go somewhere... it's probably going to have all these other... It'll be interesting to say the least. I just fear that this is going to catch on and everyone's going to be like, no, the Dark Multiverse series is so cool. It's the best because it humanizes everyone.
I don't think anybody with their right mind is going to be saying some stupid shit like that. But
then
again,
they can be like, look, crazy Superman. It makes so much sense.
Stupidity. I was like, you underestimate people's
You know what? That's fair.
Somebody's gonna find a way.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah. The
I've
filthy.
been looking into the Dark Knight metal and stuff, and I've been enjoying those alternate versions of Batman and stuff. I'd be interested in seeing alternate versions of all the other superheroes. You know, just I think that would be pretty cool.
All I'm saying is the only reason the Dark Multiverse exists is because of Batman's stupid ass. So if this Tales from the Dark Multiverse ends up being bad in terms of writing and interest, you can also blame that on Batman. So
There we go. It's a win-win.
yeah, so I'm okay with it either way.
Like, damn, bro, Batman had some lame ass nightmares. What the fuck?
Right. Actually, he did have some
He's
lame ass nightmares.
That was my biggest. That's what people. This is another big gripe I have with Batman. I tried my hardest to like him. I don't actually hate him, but it's so much shit that happens that goes around him, and I'm like, bro, come on, throw me a bone. I'm trying to like find reasons to like you. His worst nightmares were not his friends going evil. It was him stealing their powers and going evil.
Right. Like
that is so.
Oh no, we gotta talk about this now because fuck it. Yo, Dark Knight's Metal, for everybody who doesn't know, is pretty much the storyline. It was a Batman centered event. Pretty much, Batman he pretty much almost caused the collapse of the multiverse, the positive multiverse.
He did.
Oh
no,
yeah,
he did.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
It happened.
I was trying to give him a bye, but you're right. No,
it happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's necessarily his fault.
No, I am.
It's a Batman-centric event.
Yeah. So this motherfucker, evil versions of himself from this dark multiverse were, correct me if I'm wrong, it was the product of his nightmares, essentially, right?
Yes, his worst dreams. Like I said, like I was telling you, how dreams turn into universes and multiverses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When his worst nightmares were coming through the World Forge, the World Forger at the time, well, it wasn't the World Forger, it was his dragon, Barbados, was taking his worst nightmares and turning them into a dark multiverse, basically.
Right. Now,
under ours.
Now, like Zach was saying before, it wasn't his worst nightmares were not his friends dying or becoming evil. It was him, Batman, becoming evil, and then in most cases taking their powers or something similar. Batman is so fucking egotistical that he thinks the worst thing that can happen is him becoming evil. Like, what kind of shit? Like, you literally have gods on your fucking squad, and you think that the worst case scenario is you becoming evil. That baffles me. I don't, like, okay, we saw Injustice. We saw what happens when Superman snaps. Not even go evil. That's when he just snaps and he's like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do the Iron Fist version of the law now. Evil Superman, like the one, which fucking tie-in, which fucking Dark Knight's Metal tie-in was it? The Doomsday version, wasn't it? This motherfucker.
The one where he beat Superman? Somehow?
Yeah. And they don't even explain how the fuck that happened. One, they don't even explain why Superman went evil in that little tie-in. But somehow Batman wins because he had a strand of Doomsday's DNA and he injected it into himself. Like, okay, here's the problem with that story for me. Okay, I've said it before. I don't personally like Superman, but I'm also I'm not stupid enough to say, oh, Superman's boring. I just don't like Superman as a character. But the implication...
It's over.
Say what?
It was over.
Our friendship is over. The problem with that entire fucking story to me is, okay, if Doomsday only has a strand of a DNA, or Batman only has a strand of Doomsday's DNA, that either implies Doomsday was beaten or he's dead at this point in that story. Why the fuck does Batman suddenly becoming Doomsday make him able to beat Superman if more than likely Superman beat the original Doomsday?
Because it's Batman's worst nightmare, where if he gets ultimate power, he's unbeatable.
Like,
That's the justification. Like, it seems like a bunch of unlikely events happen. And they're like, well, it's because it's Batman's worst nightmares. I'm like, well, worst nightmares.
yo, Loki, the fucking what the fuck was the Aquaman version of him called? The Drowned
Whack,
or
whack.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. That I'm gonna say this now, even though that was a girl and it was I think that is the most accurate version of Batman because Batman is a fucking xenophobe. Like, okay, for anybody who didn't read that, the Drowned version of Batman was a female Batman. I don't know why Batman's worst nightmare is him becoming a woman, but oh yeah, that's gonna be a topic for another day. But um this dude goes on an entire fucking genocide of every supernatural, yeah, every metahuman or supernatural being on Earth because what was it? Her husband died because of one of these people or some shit. And so not only does she pretty much commit genocide, she floods the world and then she becomes a metahuman herself. Yeah.
From what I remember, it was like a retaliation from the people they had flooded the world, and then she was just like, "Well, I gotta be able to fight them on their turf." So she made herself into a metahuman to be able to breathe underwater and stuff, rule that world.
I think you're right on that. But yeah, still though, it's fuck Batman. Batman gets away with so much stupid shit in DC, especially in the modern day now, that it don't make sense. Batman almost kills Superman. Nobody actually mentions it. Batman went against the Justice League more than once. Nobody says anything. They just forgive him immediately. For whatever fucking reason, Batman has the ultimate hall pass when it comes to fuck shit.
He's that crazy friend that everyone's concerned about. And it's like, dude, why do you let him do that? It's like, dude, he's not all there, okay?
Take his ass to fucking Arkham Asylum, like everybody else he sends there.
You're gonna seem like an asshole to everybody else if you're discriminating against the crazy friend.
Well, guess what? We are the pettiest fucking nerds on the internet. Send that motherfucker to Arkham. I don't give a fuck.
Yep, it's beyond me now. He went. It's out of my hands.
Like, okay. Speaking of Arkham, why the fuck are known criminals being sent to an insane asylum that clearly doesn't have the type of security necessary to hold these motherfuckers? Send their asses to Blackgate.
Said it's all a conspiracy. Secretly, Bruce Wayne owns Arkham, and he keeps letting them out crazier each time to keep catching them.
You know what? I actually believe that shit. Fuck Batman. You know what? That's the new campaign. I used to, for anybody who doesn't know, I used to be on the hashtag Fuck Goku campaign, and it was going strong for a few years. Now I'm on the hashtag Fuck Batman campaign. I don't give a fuck.
I hate with this one.
Say what?
I hate with this one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck it. I'm memeing the fuck out of this nowadays. Is there anything else y'all want to add to this? Because what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the fucking Tales of the Dark Multiverse. Sorry about that tangent, y'all. I gotta vent sometimes. But yeah, anything else y'all want to add or talk about?
No. I feel like I got a lot of my good
specific stuff. Like, is there any specific what ifs that you would be hoping for to come out of this event?
Well, the article had mentioned that they're gonna revisit the Death of Superman story, so I don't know exactly what the what if is gonna be on that. I mean, they did two different versions of that. Like, yeah, Superman comes back, Superman becomes Doomsday. So I don't know. I'm just gonna see what they produce and see if it's actually good. But if it's not, like I said, blame Batman because he created the Dark Multiverse anyway. Okay. Any comic book recommendations before we close out today?
Look, I say it all the time. I reread it again. Y'all gotta get on Invincible.
Okay.
And in that series.
Who's the writer for that so people can narrow down their search?
Oh fuck, I just forgot his name. It's the same guy who wrote The Walking Dead. Damn, what's his name?
I don't fucking know because I still haven't read it.
Robert doing the current Spider-Man art. He was the guy who did the art for almost all the Invincible series.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Ryan Otley.
Say that one more time.
Ryan Otley.
Okay. Adam, you got any recommendations?
I've been reading the Champions lately, so I gotta
Hey.
go with that. You gotta read some Champions. It's like if you love team stuff like Teen Titans, Justice League, all shit, Avengers.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? Champions is the truth. Uh, it's not out yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all when it does come out, y'all need to fucking read it. Jane Foster Valkyrie. When that bitch drops, it is gonna be fire. I put my word.
Shouldn't it drop soon? Like this week or something?
Oh yeah, it's dropping soon. Yeah, Jane Foster Valkyrie.
It's a July release, right? We don't have that much longer.
Yep. I'm buying that bitch day one. But yeah, I put my name on it. That is gonna be fire. It's gonna be written by the same dude who's been in charge of Thor for the last few years now, Jason Aaron, and it's gonna be by the same artist. Actually, no, it's gonna be a different artist, Ed Ewing or some shit like that. But yeah, Jane Foster is gonna be the new Valkyrie, and it's gonna follow up immediately after the events of War of the Realms. So yeah, she's got a bitchin' ass new look and she's got a badass looking weapon, which now that I know is from the remnants of the War Thor's hammer, which is fucking awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Gotta
didn't
read all the tie-ins, I guess.
No. It was actually at the end of the last issue of War of the Realms, when they were doing the epilogue narration and shit. The fragments of the Warhammer actually just like slammed into fucking Jane Foster's wrist. And I'm like, oh, so that's gonna be the fucking weapon. Okay. So she's pretty much gonna be Say what?
So she's Wonder Woman.
I would kind of argue she might be better, but I would actually have to see how she acts as Valkyrie.
But I'm saying, but I mean, like, basically, she's gonna be like a Wonder Woman.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so she's pretty much gonna be Thor level powered still. So she's not gonna be weak, which I'm happy about. If y'all got no more recommendations, I think we could close it out here. You want to do the outro, Zach?
Absolute carnage.
Bro, I barely knew the intro. What's the outro?
Wait, hold up, Adam. What'd you say?
Absolute Carnage coming out on August 7th.
Yeah. Absolute Carnage is coming out. That will be a Carnage / Spider-Man event. So be on the lookout for that, people. Zach, take us away. You can freestyle this one.
Oh shit, y'all want me to just start rapping? All
Yeah,
right,
you know what? Yeah, you know what? Give us your bars. I want to hear this.
I would never. I would no.
Come on.
We would get like taken. We would get taken off the internet. There'd be like Russian bots hacking us to take us off. It would be that bad. But all right, everybody. This has been your No Justice cast crew. It's your boy Zach, Dave, and Adam logging off. Like I said, I didn't know the intro. I really don't know the outro either.
Oh my god. Okay. This has been the No Justice Podcast. Follow us on our social media in the links below. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit the like, and if you want to see more content in the future, hit subscribe. And we will see y'all when we see y'all. Deuces.